Welcome back to episode 115 of AyyScare Plays Front Office Football 8. We are the Jacksonville Cougars going into our 15th or 6th. I guess it'll be our 16th season together here. We had a couple of down years, but we rebounded a little bit last year. We made it back to 500 at 8-8. And we've had a number of good rookie drafts now. So the hope is that as we finish out this series, we are going to be making a couple of playoff runs. Really hoping that that's going to be the case, but I'm still learning the game, so may ends up being a complete train wreck of a series where I just completely suck the entire time. So let's jump straight into things, and we'll figure out how things go. As a quick note, I am a little bit worried this season about our cap space situation. We have a number of players that are on extended contracts with us, so our cap situation might be a real problem for the first time in this series, but we will know the second that we go to the next season here. So let's go ahead and hop into it and get started. All right. So at least up front, I'm not planning to make any drastic changes to our coaching staff. However, we will see if there's anybody better available. This guy's considered the same suitable rating. We'll give our head coach one more year. He took us from 4-12 to 8-8. How much that actually is based on the coach, not sure, but I don't want to swap him out when we technically got better under his leadership. All right, we do have better options at offensive coordinator again. Let's take a look here. So I was saying last time, we didn't go with the top option because I wanted the play style. Smash Mouth, I think, fits our quarterback and running backs well. And the only thing I'm noticing is that there is another Smash Mouth guy up here that's rated a little bit higher. Let's mainly look at play calling. So our guy's like around maybe a 70. This guy's lower and has a lower playbook limit. So we're actually going to keep our offensive coordinator. I think our offense is due to spike this year because we have the young wide receiver that we got last episode. And we should see him, well, hopefully, boom for us. Hoping for that second year breakout. We'll see if it ends up happening. All right, here is the moment of truth, cap space. We have almost none. This could legitimately be the fastest episode of this series, just because there's really, I don't think there's enough money to really even mess around too much in free agency. We'll see, though. Let's take a quick look. The main player that I'm concerned about is Nicholas Patino. He ended up almost doing nothing last season. And we're slated to pay him almost $40 million. So we are going to, unfortunately, go ahead and cut him. Let's see. He's still going to count about $10 million against us, but this will at least give us about $20 million to mess around with. Let's take a look at the attitude situation. All right, we have a couple of conflicts. We have a number of affinities, though, which is nice. Potential conflict. This guy doesn't like that other tight end. This guy's not going to be a starter for us. We're releasing him. Mild conflict. This far safety who got 7 interceptions last year. Oh, gosh. All right. He doesn't like Les Parliament. Who's that? He is one of our cornerbacks. It's considered a mild conflict, though, so I'm not going to worry about that. Alex Baxter has a mild conflict with Freddie Norton, who is our guard. How bad is that conflict? It's a mild conflict. Again, I am actually just going to ignore that for now, but I will keep an eye on that when we get towards a trade deadline. All right. Why is that guy's fan popularity black? What the hell does that mean? You can have a negative popularity? The hell, did this guy kill someone or something? I don't think I've ever seen that. Okay. Very interesting. I've definitely seen 0 before, but I don't think I've ever seen a negative value. Good thing he's off the team, I guess. All right. And hopefully we'll restructure a couple of these deals. There's nobody here worth franchising right now, so let's move on. All right. Again, we do not have much money to play with here, so we'll see what restructurings we can do. Miles Giles. It's like Dr. Seuss. Okay, he has decent numbers. Let's see. Oh yeah, we do not have. Look at this. We're slated to pay him $5 million this season, like $7 million next season. He wants us to boost him to $42 and $53 million. Yeah, so we're not doing that this season. Let's see. This guy. Is this a team deal? This guy is giving us a team deal. So we'll go ahead and accept that. He had a really good season last year, too. So we have our right tackle. Outside linebacker here. He went for 8.5 sacks last year. He's probably asking for a crap ton. Oh my gosh. This is going to be... I said this is going to be one of the fastest episodes. This actually might not be. Reason I say that now, we are basically in win this season or next season, and then our defense is going to be decimated by these contracts. So, all right, this guy's giving us a good team deal. We'll accept that one. This guy went for 3 sacks last year. 24 million. It is technically a team deal here. Just one season ago, this is the guy that we got off of free agency last year. I actually remember this guy. All right, we're not going to restructure him right now. Alex Baxter, I've learned my lesson with this. He is waiting till final year. We're not doing what we did earlier in this series. What was that guy's name? Harry McGee. We're not falling for that again. That contract, to a certain extent, screwed us. So we are not giving that guy a contract unless we actually see him blow up, which this year is his year to blow up. He has the young second year Jamal Lindsay. He has Leonard Stanton. He has Ricky Snyder. He has Dale Hoffman. He has Dylan Barlow. He has Alejandro Forbes. This is his year. let's see. I am going to let Ricky Snyder just lapse after this year. Who else here can we potentially restructure? Dylan Barlow is going to ask for a crap ton because he's on his contract year. Although I say that he hasn't really done much of anything. Yeah, we will go ahead and extend you. Man, this is going to be rough in those couple of big contracts up here. That's going to cause a huge problem for us because we have Miles Giles, we have Alejandro Beckett, we have Alex Baxter. Those three in and of themselves are going to clear my cap space next year. I'm depending on how much Alex Baxter wants, assuming he pans out, I don't even know if we're going to be able to pay the other two. So there's that. We're not paying him that much. Okay. All right. We have a little bit of money to mess with here. And since we are kind of going into a win now mode, we don't have anything that basically remaining slots here that are required. We can basically pull in late free agency. So this is our chance to boost our offensive line, boost our secondary. So let's take a look at this situation. Safety, 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 safety. You gotta be kidding me. There's only one safety on the board. And he really hasn't even... I mean, with these numbers, he basically hasn't played the past 2 years. All right. I'm not really sure what to think of that guy's bars. He seems like he would be really good at pass defense, but his pass defense numbers are not that outstanding. He also went first round pick 5 a couple of years ago. He's probably asking for a ton. Let's see. He's actually not asking for that much. What happened to Blue Book? Here we go. Yeah, so corner goes up to 16 million, which I think is actually about what he was asking for. Where'd that go? All right, we have a little bit of money to mess with here. So let's try to loop this guy in. Over here, I'll do it. And here I'm going to do 14 mil. With that signing bonus, I think he'll probably take this. I don't think we need a defensive end. I think our defensive end game is fine. Actually, if we could get one more above 50, that would actually probably be beneficial. That guy does not look like a top 50. Or above 50, I mean. Here we go. I like this. Much better pass rush, which is what I really want for that position. So let's go ahead, try to nab this guy. 7.5. Ooh, not 75, 7.5. There we go. And then we'll offer him 9 mil for the second year. All right, we nailed both of those. We're going to need to keep some cap room for next season. So I don't want to lock in too many long-term deals here. Let's actually just let this go, and then we're going to pick up remaining in late free agency. Where are we drafting? 17th. All right. So we got a little bit of guesswork to do here. There are a number of offensive linemen. Going for like this guy, that could be beneficial. We'll mark him. Let's see. Oh, the golden player, Ronaldo Price. Exactly the kind of safety look that I want. Oh no. Why couldn't I have a top 10 pick this year? I can't complain. The past 2 drafts have gone very well. Decent looking corner. Very overrated, so let's mark that guy as blue. Let's see. Somebody like this might fall, so let's go ahead and look at him. Beautiful defensive end, but I don't really need a defensive end. Those are actually 2 really nice defensive ends. It kind of sucks I don't need a defensive end. This could be one of those cases, though, where it's, do we go for the young defensive end so that we maybe don't need to pay Miles Giles? Or if we do need to pay Miles Giles and one of these guys works out, maybe we ship them out in a trade? Because outside of Miles Giles, we have Kenyon Aguilar and Will Rivera, but they're both older now. Kenyon is 11 years in the league. Will's now 9. Let's look at the other safeties. I've always said throughout the series, I really want a good safety, and the game has just never put one in a good position for me. He's considered underrated, but I don't like those bars at all. I'm definitely not putting a first round pick on that. It's like the safeties in this game, well, I was about to say they just tank after like the first 3. This guy's actually decent looking. That being said, I really need a free safety. That guy actually is decent for how far down he is. Even though he's considered overrated, if he falls to like, I don't know, round 4 or so, I might be tempted. Ooh, I actually really like this guy's bars. That might be an interesting player to pick up. I'm actually marking him. And then what else should we look at? There's pros and cons, in my opinion, to having it where you don't have a specific like position that you need to fill. Because even though it sucks, sometimes it's better where it's like, oh, like last season, I think it was, we had 0 tight ends going into the draft. So it's like, yeah, I need to use at least 1 or 2 decent picks on a tight end. In this, it's like, all right, well, what are we going to have the best chance of upgrading? Safety is definitely one of the areas that we've just never been able to take off in, but I don't feel like there's really anybody in here that's worth a crap. That's an interesting find. Very interesting for a late player. I'm just going to mark him like that. Wow. As I was talking poorly, I found a couple guys here with very interesting bars. Both of those guys were very overrated, though. I don't know what it is. I feel like this game, as I've been shooting the series, every time that I say something, I feel like I just absolutely just jinx myself. Maybe I just should play this Let's Play series of me not talking, because I feel like that would almost give me better results at this point. Yeah, I mean, it's really rough here. I don't think that upgrading a lot of these is really going to be all that beneficial. Here's a tackle that I can get for cheap, so I will go ahead and do that, or at least try to do that. All right, we got that tackle. That's cool. And after the draft, we're not going to have much money. Again, we have so many players in that 50 range that I feel like the most of this is going to be a waste of money, and we need to save money for next season. So we're actually just going to go ahead and skip straight to the draft at this point. Win now mode. Ugh. I have to admit, I don't even remember now, a couple 100 hours into Front Office Football 7. Recording yourself playing a game brings the what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like, I don't want to use stress level because stress tends to make it sound negative. It just brings a whole new complex to playing a game like this, because I don't want to upload it if I'm sucking, but yeah, I said I was going to do it, so that is what we are doing. So I really hope that we at least get far into the playoffs in one of these upcoming seasons. It looks like our best shot's going to be one of the next 2 seasons. So, all right. Ronaldo Price was the safety that I was really hoping was going to fall. He went at 7. If this actually reached pick 10 and he was still there, I was actually thinking about trading up for him. But that's not how it played out for us. All right, so here's our pick. We are pick 17. And our 2 main picks here that we at least have outlined here. Yeah. So we're going to go with one of the 2 that we've already interviewed, which basically means we're going to go with this tackle or this cornerback. I feel like the tackle might be our better option, but let's take a quick look at this real quick. So we have our one really good tackle, one really good guard. Actually, we don't have what happened to our center that was in here? Oh, he got downgraded to a 51. That's not bad, though. It actually looks like it might be better for us to go after a guard, but we didn't interview a guard, and there's no guard at the top here. If we sort by grade, there are a ton of linebackers, but again, linebacker's not really a thing that we specifically need to target either. There's tight end here. No, his bars aren't high enough for me to want to pick that. Not going for a fullback at this pick. There's a safety, but he's a strong safety, which we already have a decent one. Now, somebody, I don't know who it was, but in that video that I described watching in the last episode, I don't remember who it was, but one of them said, do you ever believe in picking a defensive player in the first round? And I don't know, at least in 7, I always had 6. I'm not going to say always because it's not like I was a pro, but in my runs with that game, when I had a team that won 3 Super Bowls across 5 years or whatever, I didn't have any problems drafting a good defense. I thought that, especially getting an awesome middle linebacker, awesome safety, awesome defensive end, is it as impactful as getting your top wide receiver? No. But in a draft like this, I don't know. I feel like going for the corner is probably my best option. We know our secondary struggled last year. If we can keep our offense, well, hopefully our offense increases too. But I think that if we can get it where our secondary is a top 10, like our front seven is, I think that our offense is already slated to increase. So we're going Ethan Harding. All right, here we are. Now there is a guard listed here. Not a huge fan of that blocking strength, but run and pass blocking are both super duper high, and we know that we do need a guard. Let's take a quick look though at those safeties. Okay, I think we're going to target Bryant Taylor, and he should definitely last at least another round or two. So now we are basically looking at top remaining players. Here's one of the defensive ends that I liked originally. Ugh, so rough. It's just, I don't know if defensive end is really what I need right now. That's a nice looking outside linebacker. But outside linebacker is another thing that I don't think I really need to focus on. That is a nice looking quarterback. That could be an interesting quarterback to throw on my roster. He doesn't have good strength, and I think strength, it's not that it tends to be super important, but a 9 seems really, really low. Yeah, that is pretty darn low. That guy's bars look great. And he definitely wouldn't start for us this year, which means he'll have 1 or 2 years to develop. Was not expecting to go quarterback here. And I think that guard might be a better choice here, but we're going this quarterback. Put some pressure on, what's the guy's name? I want to say it's Alex Smith. I think it's Alex Baxter. That's it. One of those defensive ends actually lasted to this round. Bryant Taylor, you'll probably last one more round. So we're going top on the board, defensive end. Okay, he lasted. We're going to go ahead and get him. His bars are not fantastic, but to a certain extent, I don't feel like our safeties could get much worse. So, there's that. All right. Let's take a quick look here. We still need a tight end. And once again, we're kind of free to do whatever we want. Game says we need defensive tackle, safety, quarterback. Which is weird because I feel like Alex Baxter is highly rated enough and supposed to increase enough that he should be a clear, not top 5 quarterback, but a clear starting quarterback. So I find it a little bit weird that the game says that. But Trey Farley, those bars aren't great, but for a 4th or 5th round pick, that actually isn't bad. That's actually a decent looking tackle. Let's take a look real quick at... Oh, I was actually just looking here. No, I don't like those bars at all. Okay. Let's take a quick look at remaining guards and centers. That guy looks interesting, especially for a late rounder. Maybe he'll last until next round. Let's take a look at safety or centers. This guy's... Oops. Let's resort that. We'll sort it out one of these two. Basically the same exact order across the board for these. That looks like a really nice center. Okay, so there were two... Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Very interesting. All right. Let's go with this center just because he's more developed. That one that I just marked down here, who looks really good, he's only 4% developed, so he probably wouldn't be able to do much of anything for us this year. At least JB Gaines could fill in if our starter gets injured. So, actually, maybe I should grab this guard now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this guard now, and then hopefully that center remains. He did. Again, he's not going to start for us this year, but he could be a good fill-in for future seasons. And let's just see if any tight end worth a crap fell. Great blocking tight end right there. Let's mark him real quick. And that's a decent receiving tight end. Huh. There actually are a number of tight ends here that seem at least decent. Let's go with the really good blocking one here. All right. All right, we have a little bit of money. Let's go through nab any decent looking rookie that fell through the draft. Even if we get them for like 1 year, hopefully that would open the door for us to keep them in future seasons for cheap. Here's another guard. Let's try him real quick. That's nice because we knew that we needed a guard. Inside linebacker. Again, our linebackers, really, our front seven is just so absolutely stacked that I kind of feel like putting money towards like third stringers, which is basically what we're doing right now, may not be fully worth it, especially since we're not playing with super high injuries. But you know what? You never know. We'll do 3, 5, and 3, 7, 5. Do we even have a fullback right now? We do have a fullback. Okay. Another wide receiver or two might not be a bad thing. I feel like our roster distribution is actually pretty darn good. Here's a tight end. Those bars actually look very nice. Wide receiver, those bars again look very nice. Oh, Levon Pierce? Look at those. Where's its freaking safety? Okay. His bars aren't great, but look at this. In 7 games, he had 24 tackles. He was still almost putting up 80% for pass defended. That is not bad. I am definitely not doing a 2-year deal, though. We'll see if he'll do $6 million for 1 year. All right, we got a number of offers going out here, and then we don't have much money after this. So we got one of our tight ends, one of the wide receivers, one of the guards. Again, this season, I think, next season, these are probably going to be our 2 best options of making a good playoff run. Because after next season, the money situation is going to become completely wonky for us unless something happens I'm not expecting. Put it that way. I didn't even see. Did the one safety sign with us? I didn't even notice. We had one guy holding out. I believe it means he's holding out that little... It reminds me of like the Terran symbol from StarCraft 2. But, oh no, he's suspended. That's great. Alright. Okay, here he is. So he did side with us. Okay, cool. We'll save a little bit of money, once again, for any mid-season trades. We also want to leave some space to help us out and not loop in too many long-term deals, since we have 3 huge contracts coming up. As far as I'm aware, create your offensive playbook. This is 100% being done by the computer right now, which is the way that I like doing it. But let me just make sure that coaches reset playbook. They've reset playbook. So if you want your coach to set up your team's offensive during training camp, note that this will override any play. Okay, that's fine. All right, that's what I want. I just wanted to make sure. When it said reset, I thought that meant like almost a bad thing. Like, oh no, you're getting 100% new plays and your team's not going to be able to learn them all. That's at least what I think when I hear reset. But it actually is doing exactly what I wanted. All right. Here we go. Going up against Houston, which is a team in our division, so very big game to kick things off here. We won 13-10. All right. Now we're going up against Tampa Bay. Before we do that, as always, after the first week, we will go in and check our team summary. All right, Alex Baxter didn't throw any picks, didn't throw any interceptions, almost threw 300 yards. Not pretty, but I'm not going to complain. Our running game was all over the place. And Snyder here had one of the best games I think I've ever seen. He went 11 catches for 196 yards, 0 touchdowns. So if you're a fantasy person, you know, this is still a pretty damn good stat line. But, okay. All right. And then our defense showed up, that's for sure. All right. We'll play it out to week 4 as we normally do and reanalyze how it's looking. All right, we're at 1-1. We beat California. I don't know why. The fact that there are so many California cities and it just says California is throwing me off, but is what it is. All right, we're 3-1. Let's take another look here. Now we have a better idea as to how our team's shaping up. All right, Alex Baxter, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Our running game is very decent. Our passing game, this Snyder guy is having like a career rebound into the stratosphere right now. If he continues on this pace, this will be his second best year ever. And he is 34. So I have a feeling this guy's going to end up falling, and we're going to see Lindsay end up picking things up here. But who knows? We'll see how that pans out. Very interesting, though. And definitely, as you guys have been watching, our quarterbacks tend to like slinging the ball all over the place, at least so far. The fact that he's so focused on Snyder is definitely a change in how we've seen things going. All right. Once again, our passing defensive situation is very meh. But you know what? You can't be number one across the board. It's not how it works. All right, we're at 4-1. 5-1. Going up against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh beat us for 5-2. All right, here's the trade deadline. So let's take another look just to see if anything big here has changed. This is actually nuts. Snyder's on course to have basically 200 targets. That's crazy. Alex Forbes is also on track to have a 1,000-yard rushing year for us. Okay. I mean, right now, offense seems to be clicking as needed. Defense, once again, our front is killing it. Our secondary is definitely the biggest area of concern right now. Let's take a quick look-see here. Because I also said earlier that we need to keep an eye on the attitudes. It's sort of a mild conflict. I'm not going to touch that then. Our offensive line is actually getting a little bit battered up. I wonder if we could pull in a guard from somewhere. Actually, yeah, our secondary does not have like a superstar on it right now, but outside of the free safety, far safety, we're 50s across the board. Okay. Let's take a quick look-see and see if there's something that we can do to pull in another guard. Actually, wait, we have this guy. We could swing him over to right guard. We'll see if our coaching staff does that, but we should still check. Let's take a quick look at free agency. There are a couple here that can progress up, but I really need a proven guard right now. This guy has basically not played in a couple of years. But we have some money right now. Let's get him in. That's fine. We need to potentially upgrade that, and then our coaching staff will determine who to get rid of They might actually get rid of the guy I just signed, but we'll see. All right, we're continuing through. All right, we beat Baltimore. We're going up against Athens, who is conference. We're 7-2. Bye week. Going up against Houston. Houston beat us. All right. Going up against Carolina. Carolina's 2-8. All right, we beat them. Going up against New England here. We beat New England. We are sitting at 9-3. Do I screw myself right here? I feel like just for consistency's sake, we have to. All right. Right now. Gosh. I'm saying this right now. If this ends up jinxing me, I might just freaking give up on this series right now. No, I wouldn't actually do that. But according to this, we are sitting at basically a 70% chance of getting a bye and a 99.6% of making playoffs. So let's see if it jinxes us. Let's go. This should be a fun little experiment. Going up against Atlanta this week. We beat Atlanta. All right. We lost to Indianapolis. We knew Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis actually made it into the Super Bowl last year. So, not a big surprise there. We lost there. We're now going up against Athens. Now, before we do this final week, let's just confirm here this playoff probability. Okay. We're not getting a bye, but we are locked in for playoffs. So for the first time in, I don't know, I would even need to double check. I want to say 6 or 7 episodes. We are into the playoffs, regardless of what happens here. So we lost, but we were guaranteed in. Hopefully none of our starters got injured. That's all that really matters to me. And we're back into the playoffs, baby. As I said a couple of times already, really this season, next season are probably going to be our 2 peaks. So I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best here. All right. Before we jump in, let's take a quick look-see at our team here. Are we facing any serious injuries? Let's see. We have 2 of our tackles are out and one of our corners with a sprained knee. But this means the majority of our team is healthy, which is great. Let's take a quick look at how our team summary looks going into playoffs. All right. Alex Baxter, our quarterback, had a very respectable season. Happy about that. Forbes went for almost 1,000 rushing yards. Snyder went for about 1,100 yards. Our hopefully star wide receiver rookie from last year, well, technically second year in the league, went for 700 yards, 7 touchdowns. Would have loved to see that be higher, but I'm not going to complain about that. And our defense really seemed to stick it out here. We actually had an outside linebacker here went for 13 sacks. He is probably going to be a Pro Bowler. We will double check that here after playoffs. All right. Let's do this thing. You guys know the drill. We're not making our team calls. Here we go. I would take an early lead 13-0, 20-0, 23-0, 30-0. We're up 30-0, and there's 6 minutes left in the second quarter. All right. 33-3. 33-6. All right. That's what I'm talking about. We won 33-17. Alex Baxter, 22 completions for 267 yards. Forbes went for 71 rushing. Our hopefully future star wide receiver, 9 catches for 96 yards. I'm going to be honest, actually, these stats are actually kind of low considering how much we put up points-wise. But without looking at play-by-play, we might have had a defensive touchdown in there and things like that. So regardless, we won the game. So that is really what matters. All right, we're now in the conference semifinals. Let's do this thing. We're up against Pittsburgh. We started out 7-0. Pittsburgh ties it up 7-7. Pittsburgh drives. Jacksonville's driving. Pittsburgh. Jacksonville. Jacksonville's up. Oh, Pittsburgh's up. Oh, this is really back and forth. All right, 17-14. 5 minutes left in the third. Once it's about 5 minutes left in the fourth, I'm going to slow this down depending on score. All right, let's slow this up here a little bit. We're down a touchdown, an extra point. We are driving. We're on the 43-yard line with about 4 minutes left. Let's go. All right, receives the ball. Toss. We went for negative yardage. Great. He runs for 13 yards. Not enough. We're going for it on fourth. We got the first. All right. Here we go. Takes the snap. Incomplete pass. All right. Sounded like it was a dropped pass. All right. Fourth down. How many? Where are timeouts listed? Have we already used all of our timeouts? All right. I was going to say, because if... Oh, that's rough, man. Now, I guess at this point, you have to go for the touchdown. Or at least the first down, I mean. Oh, we actually do have all 3 timeouts. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we're under 2 minutes, so going for the fourth down here probably does make the most sense. Drop back. Sacked. All right. Our defense is going to have to hold strong here. Let's see what we got. It's a running play. What can you expect? 1 yard. We call a timeout. 2-9. They're running another running play. Gained 2 yards. Call another timeout. Another handoff. Only 3 yards, so we're going to call that final timeout. We're going to get this ball back. No timeouts remaining, though. Wow, that was a damn good punt. It was down to the 6-yard line. All right. Tosses a medium pass. He's got some running room. Pass good for 20 yards. Okay. Wow, that took off a lot of time. Let's pick this up, guys. Spiked the ball. All right. Bomb fell incomplete. All right. Down to 12 seconds, so this is getting close to final play here. Why did you decide to scramble? No. All right. All right. You know what? We made it back into the playoffs. The championship here, Green Bay v. Miami. Green Bay takes it, winning it 49-14. Whew, it's a high-scoring championship. All right, go ahead and save here, and we'll do a little bit of recap. Let's take a quick look at season awards, because I think we're going to have at least one in here. Yep, so that outside linebacker that went for 13 sacks, he made it onto the Pro Bowl team. Hey, look, we also had second team running back and fullback. That's awesome. I'm actually surprised that Alejandro Forbes got onto the second team. He went for 957 yards. And I guess he also did catch for almost 500 more. I'm going to be honest, I don't think that he had a bad season, but I'm surprised that this landed him on the Pro Bowl. All right. Well, I'm not complaining though. All right. So, recap. We made it back into the Super Bowl for the first time in at least 5 seasons. Our team seems to be on the up and up. Next episode, we are potentially going to have some money issues, or we're going to have a number of players this episode after that we're going to have to make some hard decisions on. But I think if we have one episode where we are going to have the best shot at a Super Bowl run, I think it's going to be next episode. That's what I'm predicting. I think that our team's shaping up for that exactly. But you never know what comes your way, We get into week 1 and our quarterback could go out for the season. So, with football, nothing is ever a guarantee. So I hope you guys join me, because I am very excited for the next episode. And we'll see how it all goes. Till then, AyyScare out.